Hello friends, today we are going to discuss the topic interdisciplinarity, ideas and issues. So now let us go to the introductory section of our discussion. As we all know, the term interdisciplinary has become quite popular in recent times. According to Graph, the current academic and educational writing gives the impression that it has become the most dominant form of scholarly work. Strong opinions have been expressed about the need of interdisciplinary scholarship in such diverse culture areas as international migration, leisure studies, obesity, poverty, and public health. Universities are at the forefront in spreading such an idea. In 2008, the University of Michigan advertised for 25 junior faculty positions in interdisciplinary fields such as data mining, energy storage, global HIV/AIDS, microbial ecology, and social sciences and energy. In its advertisement, the university pointed out that it wanted to recruit, quote, scholars whose work crosses boundaries and opens new pathways to explore significant questions or address complex problems. A similar emphasis on interdisciplinarity is also evident in Northeastern University's advertisement for scholars that read, quote, who aspire to create new areas of scholarship and new disciplines by combining their knowledge and mastery of different fields with others, combining fundamental and translational research to solve social problems, unquote. But it is not only in academic discussions that the significance of the interdisciplinary is stressed. Popular newspapers and periodicals also appear to prefer an interdisciplinary approach when they discuss issues such as healthcare, environment, or national security. The objective of today's discussion is to analyze the ideas and issues pertaining to the concept of interdisciplinarity. Now let us discuss about the origin of the interdisciplinarity. The origin of the interdisciplinarity can be traced to the view that holds that all academic disciplines are limited and confining. According to Moran, interestingly, this critique of disciplines is as long-standing as the history of the disciplines themselves. In the passage of history, this critique has taken the form of referring back to an older, unorganized form of knowledge, a form which was associated with some undisciplined subjects such as philosophy. These anxieties about the decline of the general forms of education can be taken as the factor behind the emergence of the term interdisciplinarity, which was first used in the field of social sciences in mid-1920s. Frank points out that the term earned widespread popularity both in the social sciences and humanities immediately after the Second World War. By the turn of the century, the term was used extensively in natural sciences such as nanotechnology and neurosciences. In the concept of interdisciplinarity, competing impulses are found to be in operation. On the one hand, it is a party to the traditional search for total knowledge. At the same time, however, it also questions the nature of knowledge itself, as well as the rationale behind the attempt to organize knowledge and communicate it. Moran points out that from this point of view, it shares a close relationship with epistemology, and its principal concern is to find solutions to problems and issues that cannot be addressed or solved within existing disciplines. Now let us find out what is the aim of interdisciplinarity. According to Graf, interdisciplinarity is defined and constructed by questions and problems of theory or practice, knowledge or conditions of living. Its basic aim is to seek for answers to those questions in new and different ways. In order to find solutions to the problems, it goes into the arenas of different disciplines and forms distinct approaches, understandings, and contexts. Now, let us try to find out what is the need for interdisciplinarity. Although the popularity of the interdisciplinary approaches is proof enough of the need of interdisciplinarity in contemporary times, Steve Fuller, a philosopher of science, is of the opinion that, quote, disciplines are artificial holding patterns of inquiry, whose metaphysical significance should not be overestimated, unquote. He believes that inquiry needs a social space where it can roam free and find its natural home. The supporters of interdisciplinarity assert that disciplinarity is a necessary evil of knowledge production and a function of institutionalization. They accuse that disciplinarity encourages mindless repetition of old lectures and artificial extension of exhausted research programs. On the other hand, interdisciplinarity approach is characterized by flexibility and adaptiveness, qualities which are highly valued in today's knowledge economy. Now, let us discuss the correlation between disciplinarity and interdisciplinarity. Graf points out that in spite of the conflict that exists between disciplinarity and interdisciplinarity, there is a correlation between them and they are inextricably linked. But supporters and opponents of either are not usually ready to recognize or appreciate this. The advocates of interdisciplinarity point to its tremendous rise in popularity in recent times as a reaction against over specialization and fragmentation in disciplines. They opine that integration and synthesis, as well as collaboration among specialists from different fields and disciplines, are vital for finding solutions to critical problems. Although interdisciplinarity may be seen as a reaction against disciplinarity, the former depends heavily on the latter, from which it derives the relevant ideas, approaches, theories, concepts, methods, etc. On a proper selection and adoption of elements, methods, etc. of different disciplines, thus the success of an interdisciplinary approach depends. However, there are certain critics of interdisciplinarity. Over the decades, interdisciplinarity has been the object of serious intellectual and philosophical criticism. Jacobs and Frickel points to the quote relative absence of epistemic clarity unquote of interdisciplinarity and warns of its potential to cause harm to disciplines including their further fragmentation. Critics also point out that there have been inadequate or absent evaluation of interdisciplinary research and therefore the superiority of interdisciplinary knowledge over the disciplinary cannot be assured. Bill Readings, in his book The University in Ruins, has contended that interdisciplinarity is the product of Western university system, which has become a transnational bureaucratic corporation whose sole aim is profit and not excellence. He also opines that a vagueness and flexibility associated with the term interdisciplinary makes it easier for the universities to appropriate the term for their market-oriented aims. Actually, interdisciplinarity is the byproduct of the budget management practices of the universities. It helps the universities in downsizing the number of departments and cost cutting under the garb of intellectual dialogue and cooperation. The negative criticism of interdisciplinary has some adverse effect on interdisciplinary research as well as on its practitioners. In 2013, the Cornwall Higher Education Research Institution carried out a study which was based on data from quote all people who earned PhDs in 2010 unquote. In their findings, they reported that within quote those in the cohorts who did interdisciplinary dissertations unquote earned on average 1,700 US dollar less than those who completed dissertations in a single field. In conclusion, they said that the quote current fellow system in academia clearly imposes a cost on boundary spanning unquote. Now let us move to the conclusion. In conclusion, it may be said that though there are serious criticisms of the interdisciplinarity from various quarters, it is sure to remain one of the important approaches. It is a part of the historical making and reshaping of modern disciplines and therefore inseparable from them. The emergence and popularity of new areas of study like molecular biology, nanotechnology, culture studies, women studies, disaster management, environmental studies, etc., are proof of the efficacy of the interdisciplinary approach and its potential to serve the cause of humanity. Now, I have also included the books that I have cited here, and I hope that this list will help you for your further study. Thank you.